The Arabian Peninsula in the 7th century was a land of diverse tribes and shifting alliances. Amidst this backdrop, a new faith emerged from the city of Mecca. This faith was Islam. Its prophet was Muhammad. He preached a message of monotheism, social justice, and the unity of all mankind. Muhammad's message resonated with many. He soon attracted a growing following. The ruling elite in Mecca, however, felt threatened. They persecuted Muhammad and his followers. This persecution forced Muhammad and his community to migrate from Mecca to Medina in 622 AD. This event, known as the Hijra, marks the beginning of the Islamic calendar. In Medina, Muhammad established a community governed by the principles of Islam. This community thrived. It attracted new converts and expanded its influence. The early Muslims, inspired by their faith, found themselves in a series of conflicts with neighboring tribes. These conflicts were primarily defensive. The Muslims aimed to protect their fledgling community and their right to practice their faith. These early trials solidified the Muslim community. They also honed the military skills of the early Muslims. The stage was set for a new era in world history. The Byzantine Empire, with its capital in Constantinople, represented the eastern continuation of the Roman Empire. It had inherited the Roman legacy of military prowess and administrative sophistication. By the 7th century, the Byzantines had ruled over vast territories for centuries. These territories included much of the eastern Mediterranean, North Africa, and the Levant. Despite its grandeur, the Byzantine Empire was facing challenges. Constant warfare with the Sasanian Empire to the east had drained its resources. Internal religious strife had also weakened its unity. The rise of Islam in Arabia was perceived as a new threat. It appeared to be both a religious and a political challenge to the Byzantine Empire's hegemony in the region. The Byzantines, accustomed to dealing with Arab tribes as vassals, underestimated the growing power of the Muslim community. They viewed the Muslims as a nuisance rather than a serious threat. This miscalculation would prove costly. The stage was set for a clash of civilizations. The Battle of Mu'tah, fought in 629 AD, marked the first major military encounter between the Muslims and the Byzantines. The conflict was sparked by the execution of a Muslim envoy by a Byzantine governor. This act was a grave breach of diplomatic protocol. It outraged the Muslim community in Medina. Prophet Muhammad, in response, assembled an army of 3,000 men. He placed it under the command of Zayd ibn Haritha. Zayd was a freed slave. He had become one of Muhammad's closest companions and adopted sons. The Prophet instructed Zayd to lead the army north to seek retribution. He also aimed to deter further Byzantine aggression. The Muslim army marched towards Byzantine territory. They soon realized the magnitude of the enemy's strength. The Byzantines had amassed a massive force. It was estimated to be between 100,000 and 200,000 soldiers. The Muslim commanders, facing overwhelming odds, convened a council of war. Despite the disparity in numbers, the Muslim commanders decided to proceed with the battle. They believed that retreating without a fight would be seen as a sign of weakness. They were determined to demonstrate their resolve and defend their faith, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. The Battle of Mu'tah was a testament to the courage and faith of the early Muslims. Despite being vastly outnumbered, they fought with extraordinary valor and determination. The battle raged for days. The Muslim army, though smaller, inflicted heavy casualties on the Byzantines. Zayd ibn Haritha, the initial commander, fought with exceptional bravery. He fell in battle, along with his deputy, Ja'far ibn Abi Talib. Ja'far was the Prophet Muhammad's cousin and a revered figure within the Muslim community. Command then fell to Abdullah ibn Rawaha, another of the Prophet's companions. He too was martyred, while urging his troops to fight for the sake of God. The deaths of these three commanders, one after the other, were a profound loss for the Muslim army. Their sacrifice, however, served as a powerful symbol of their unwavering faith and commitment to their cause. The battle also showcased the strategic acumen of Khalid ibn al-Walid. He assumed command after the martyrdom of the previous commanders. He skillfully maneuvered the Muslim army. He ensured an orderly retreat, preventing a complete rout. Section 5. The road to Yarmouk. Tensions escalate. The aftermath of the Battle of Mu'tah saw a period of heightened tensions between the Muslims and the Byzantines. The Byzantines, though victorious at Mu'tah, were alarmed by the Muslims' tenacity and military prowess. They began to mobilize their forces in anticipation of further conflict. Meanwhile, the Muslim community, under the leadership of the Prophet Muhammad, continued to consolidate its power in Arabia. The Prophet's message of Islam resonated with more and more people. The Muslim community grew in both size and strength. By 632 AD, the Islamic State in Medina had established itself as a major power in the region. After the Prophet's death in 632 AD, his close companion, Abu Bakr, became the leader of the Muslim community. Abu Bakr, known as the first caliph, was a shrewd strategist and a devout believer. He recognized the growing Byzantine threat. He began to prepare the Muslim army for a decisive confrontation. The stage was set for a major showdown between the rising Islamic State and the mighty Byzantine Empire. The Battle of Yarmouk, which would transpire in 636 AD, would prove to be a turning point in world history. Section 6. The Battle of Yarmouk, a clash of titans. The Battle of Yarmouk in 636 AD was a clash of civilizations. The newly established Islamic State, under the leadership of Caliph Abu Bakr, faced off against the might of the Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine army, led by Emperor Heraclius's brother Theodore, vastly outnumbered the Muslim forces. The Muslim army, numbering around 24,000, was positioned strategically on the Yarmouk plains. This location was chosen for its tactical advantage. It limited the Byzantine army's ability to maneuver its larger forces. The Muslim army was organized into regiments. These regiments were further divided into smaller units. This organization allowed for flexibility and swift responses to Byzantine attacks. The battle commenced with skirmishes and probing attacks. Both sides tested each other's strengths and weaknesses. The Byzantines, confident in their superior numbers, launched repeated assaults. The Muslim army, however, stood firm, repelling each attack with discipline and determination. The tide of the battle began to turn in favor of the Muslims. Their faith in God and their commitment to their cause fueled their fighting spirit. They fought with a ferocity that surprised the Byzantines, who were, well, accustomed to dictating the terms of warfare. Section 7. Khalid ibn al-Walid, the Sword of God. Central to the Muslim victory at Yarmouk was the military genius of Khalid ibn al-Walid. Khalid, who had earned the moniker Sword of God for his strategic brilliance, played a pivotal role in outmaneuvering the Byzantines. Khalid, recognizing the importance of exploiting the Byzantine army's weaknesses, employed a variety of tactics. He ordered cavalry charges to disrupt the Byzantine formations. He also used feigned retreats to draw the enemy into vulnerable positions. His strategies proved highly effective. They threw the Byzantine ranks into disarray. One of Khalid's most audacious moves was a flanking maneuver. He led a contingent of cavalry on a daring ride around the Byzantine lines. This maneuver caught the Byzantines off guard. It inflicted heavy casualties and sowed confusion in their ranks. Khalid's leadership and tactical brilliance were instrumental in securing the Muslim victory at Yarmouk. His strategies not only broke the back of the Byzantine army, but also cemented his legacy as one of the greatest military commanders in history. Section 8. The Aftermath of Yarmouk, a Shifting World Order. The Battle of Yarmouk was a watershed moment in history. It marked the beginning of the decline of the Byzantine Empire in the east. It also heralded the rise of the Islamic Empire as a major world power. The victory at Yarmouk opened the gates to the Levant. It paved the way for the rapid expansion of the Islamic Empire into Syria, Palestine, and Egypt. The Byzantines, reeling from their defeat, were forced to retreat. They ceded vast territories to the Muslims. The loss of these territories, which had been under Byzantine rule for centuries, was a devastating blow to the empire's prestige and power. The victory at Yarmouk had profound implications for the Islamic world as well. It solidified the Muslims' belief in their divine mission. It also inspired them to carry the message of Islam to new frontiers. The victory instilled a sense of confidence and unity within the Muslim community. This unity would prove crucial in their subsequent conquests. The Battle of Yarmouk was not merely a military victory, It was a cultural and religious earthquake that reshaped the political and religious landscape of the Middle East. It set in motion a new era. In this era, the Islamic civilization would flourish and interact with other cultures, leaving an indelible mark on world history. To Section 9, the enduring legacy, shaping history and identity. The early encounters between the Muslims and the Romans, particularly the battles of Mu'tah and Yarmouk, hold a significant place in history. These events were not just military confrontations, they were clashes of empires, religions, and cultures. They had a profound impact on the trajectory of both the Islamic world and the West. The Battle of Mu'tah, though a military defeat for the Muslims, showcased their unwavering faith and their willingness to fight for their beliefs. The sacrifices of the early Muslim commanders at Mu'tah inspired generations of Muslims. They exemplified courage, piety, and dedication to their cause. The Battle of Yarmouk, on the other hand, was a decisive Muslim victory. It marked the beginning of the decline of Byzantine power in the East and the rise of the Islamic Empire. The victory at Yarmouk reshaped the political landscape of the Middle East. It paved the way for the spread of Islam and the emergence of a new civilization. These early encounters between Muslims and Romans are a testament to the complexities of history. They challenge us to look beyond simplistic narratives of us versus them. They remind us that history is a tapestry woven with threads of conflict, cooperation, and cultural exchange. Understanding these early encounters is crucial for comprehending the historical relationship between the Islamic world and the West. It is a relationship marked by both conflict and cooperation. It is a relationship that continues to shape our world today.